Brad Moss, John Yoo, and Mark Morgan. Welcome back, gentlemen. I want to read a tweet from conservative activist Charlie Kirk. He lists some names and asks a question. He says, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Barack Obama, John Brennan. Now that Mueller has finished his investigation, it's time to investigate these people who have entangled America in a 2-year national nightmare to destroy @real Donald Trump. Bradley, any chance any of that happens?
Well, beyond the IG investigation, which is already ongoing, we've already had one IG investigation into how Hillary Clinton was investigated, and now we're having a second one that's going into this particular probe. No, none of that's going to happen. That's pure fantasy. Look, this was a campaign that made clear its desire, its willingness at least, to conspire with foreign actors. You had Donald Trump Jr. meeting someone he thought was a Russian government proxy to get documents direct from the Russian government. You had Paul Manafort, the chairman, in August 2017, handing 75 pages of detailed polling data to a Russian intelligence operative, and you had Roger Stone telling everyone in the campaign he knew it was coming from WikiLeaks, which had gotten stuff from Russia. If there was ever a need for an investigation, this clearly was a campaign that was completely caught up with foreign influence. Whether or not there was collusion is what we're waiting to find out from Mr. Mueller.
Okay, and Mark, as someone who served for years and years in our FBI, what do you hope to find? I mean, you know, Bradley mentions the IG investigation. Catherine Herridge talked about it earlier. We've seen these texts with, you know, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and others, Bruce Orr and others who've been involved. As a former FBI man yourself, what would you like to see?
Yeah, so, you know, with all due respect, I have to completely disagree with Bradley's perspective on what he just said. So from an investigative standpoint, not a political one. Look, there's absolutely enough information and evidence out there that this should be looked at. And the IG, that's where I do agree, the IG is looking at a lot of that. And I hope that through that IG report, in part, that the FBI does take a look at this. Those recent texts that came out from the former Deputy Director Andy McCabe and Lisa Page, those are absolutely devastating. That in itself should be enough to have people take a look at this, a serious look at this, and open investigation. And I hope we see that.
Okay. I want to play something from Senator Dick Blumenthal tonight, a Democrat. His prediction, which he's been making yesterday and today in overtime. Okay, we don't have that, but I'll just tell you what he said. Essentially, he said there are more indictments. There are potentially indictments in this president's future. John, if it's not connected to this, it seems that he's referring to the Southern District of New York, some of the state things that have been launched in New York as well. How much should his legal team be worried about those possible avenues tonight?
So first, I think we should take away from the Mueller report being finished is it's not a surprise there are no more indictments coming from Mueller because the regulations require him to issue his report when he's done. So he's now finished. There aren't going to be any more indictments involving Russian collusion and the Trump campaign. You know, Bradley has these points, but Mueller looked at all of those facts and he decided there's nothing chargeable there. Again, I'm not going to second guess Mr. Mueller's prosecutorial decisions there, and I don't think Congress should either. So the battleground is going to move to Congress with impeachment and oversight. The other battleground, as you mentioned, is going to move to the Southern District of New York. But these are all going to be matters, I think, which involve conduct by Trump before he was president. And so under governing law, those prosecutions are going to have to be paused until his presidency is over. That's why impeachment is really the only thing that's going to happen to Trump while he's in office. Now, Southern District of New York might pull in other people like Cohen, like the Trump family that are not protected by this kind of presidential immunity. But I think if the battlefield moves in prosecutions to the Southern District of New York, that's not going to touch Trump himself.
All right, well, we will stand by. To our legal panel, Bradley, John, and Mark, we thank you all for weighing in tonight with your perspectives. Very helpful.
Have a good evening.
You too.